Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. Um, I'm joined today by Felipe from G4 Marketing. Hi, Felipe.
Hey Brian, how's it going?
Good. We're not in the same office anymore, so I miss Felipe. I was just giving him some crap about that, about why he moved away.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, but I'm looking forward to this. Felipe's got some really, really good insights to share with you, some really good strategy to share with you. And I think you guys are going to be very happy. There's a lot of money making in this, a lot of money making stuff that he's going to show you. So, Felipe, let's give people a minute here to
Yeah,
hop on. I just saw a whole bunch of people come in.
I'm glad we're finally doing it. We're probably 2 to 3 years overdue on this, Brian.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're good. I think we should get started. So, a couple of housekeeping items here, everybody. If you have a question, you can put it either into the chat box or the Q&A box. I will be paying attention. I'm actually going to stay with Felipe and I'm going to interrupt him probably a few times, and I will be asking my own questions as they, if I see something come up, I will be asking questions, but you guys also, I want to get to your questions as well. So I'll be monitoring the Q&A and the chat. So when you have questions, just put them there. And we'll do our best to get every one of your questions answered. So, yeah, I think that's it. We will do a plug at the end, but I'm going to do one now at the beginning. This webinar is being brought to you by The Wealthy Contractor and by Accelerate Live 2026. This is going to be by far our biggest and I think best event ever. I know a lot of people that are here are already registered for Accelerate, but if you are not, we're going to give you a special coupon code at the end so you save a little bit more money on your ticket. But if you're really serious about being in this business and you're really serious about success, wealth, and freedom, then you cannot miss Accelerate Live in February. All right, so Felipe, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, appreciate it, Brian. And yeah, couldn't agree more. Accelerate's one of the best in the industry, and it's
One of
the best in the industry.
better,
And it's in Clearwater, Florida this year, so it's a beautiful
right on the
location as
beach.
well. So can't get
Yeah.
better than that. Well, first of all, thanks everyone for joining. Just wanted to say thank you. As Brian mentioned today, I think we're going to talk about 4 strategies to squeeze more revenue from uh, the leads that you already have in your database. But before we do, let's set the stage just a little bit and why, we think we G4, have experience to talk about some of these strategies that we're going to talk about. For those of you that don't know me, Brian mentioned it, but my name's Felipe. I'm the president and one of the owners here at G4. I'm in Miami, Florida, which is where G4 is headquartered. Um, I joined G4 3 years ago, and that's when I, invested in the business that Brian and Addie founded almost 15 years ago, which is G4 Marketing. Uh, Prior to that, I spent about 10 years in the financial industry, helping buy and sell businesses. So you'll see that the presentation here is very numbers driven. That's kind of close to my heart. Lastly, I'll say that people often ask me, around YG4 and kind of what drew me to it. And I think it was just the alignment and vision that, Brian, we had and we talked about in terms of just the value of a customer, right? Being way more than a single transaction. And that's kind of the mission and vision that we have and kind of the lens that we look at the world here at G4. So talking about G4 a little bit and, why we think we are experts in the space. So for those of you that don't know gFour, we're a company that focuses solely on helping contractors get more revenues from those leads that you already have, right? So all the strategies that we're going to be talking about today, that's what we do every day for hundreds of contractors across the country. We have clients in all 50 states. We've worked with more than 500 contractors nationwide. We only work in the home improvement and home services space. Uh, we've been doing this for more than 15 years. This year alone, we sent over 130,000 gifts on behalf of our customers. Uh, and we have over 1 million homeowners in our database that we are nurturing on behalf of our clients, whether that be through email, direct mail, um, or text. And why I mentioned this is because we're not looking at one company's data. The data points that we're going to be sharing here today is all of it is the combined data points of hundreds of companies over years across the country. 90%, I would say, is home improvement, 10% home services, um, and we're looking at it through the lens of relationship marketing. So I think we're going to see a lot of interesting insights and patterns that you can see with just this much data. Um, so with that, let's jump into some of the insights that we have for today, and some of the strategies that we're going to be talking about. So here are the four strategies that we're going to go really deep into and share some of the first party data that we have on it. So customer appreciation, referral marketing, past customer campaigns, and rehashing unsold leads. We're going to talk about what works, what doesn't work, and what the data says. So. Uh, this is an interesting little survey we conducted in for about 100 customers that started working with us this year. And um, what the data said when we asked them, hey, what are some of the pain points that you face when you're talking to or when you're trying to generate reviews, referrals, and repeat business? 73% of those customers said that, they were getting referrals and repeat business, but nowhere near the level that they should be getting, right? So I think that's kind of setting the stage. It's probably not, surprising to any of you here in the audience that there is an opportunity to do more in that bucket. You probably recognize it within your own business. Um, and then the second data point here on the right is that, 65% of the contractors we talked to and asked this question said, the reason is because they lack the consistency or the capacity to do it, right? They want to follow up. They want to run appreciation campaigns. They want to ask for more referrals and reviews, but trying to do all of it in-house consistently puts significant strain in their business, in their operations, in their teams. So this, I think, sets the stage for what we're going to be talking about. And hopefully what we'll give you guys is some strategies to put processes and systems that will allow you to consistently execute on what, I'd call pretty simple strategies. They're a little bit nuanced to, do every single day. It's not rocket science, but they are very, very impactful when you do it consistently. Um, so let's jump into the first one, customer appreciation. Um, and when I talk about customer appreciation, I mean saying thank you to your customers after the job is complete. So this on the page here on the right, this is how we do it at gFour. We've been perfecting it over the past 15 plus years. Uh, we send a nice box saying thank you. In the box, there's a gift for us. We use cookies. It's branded to your company, but you can do anything. It really doesn't matter. I think it's more of the gesture of saying thank you and showing appreciation. We throw a thank you card in there. It looks like it's coming from the owner. Again, fully branded, saying thank you. And then we also throw a little review insert in there to drive more reviews. Um, So that's kind of how we do it.
Can I say a
And
couple things here, Felipe?
yeah, absolutely.
So when we first started G4, the big thing for me was, Addie was already doing some of this stuff in our home improvement business, but it was all manual. She had to do it herself, put the packages together, get them out there. And so we found a way to be able to automate this. And like Felipe said, over the last 15 years, this package has really developed into a powerhouse. There's so much psychology that goes into this box. But the one thing that does not change, and this is the thing that I've harped on for years and years and years, you have people that you have marketed to and spent a fortune, especially lately, spent a fortune to buy this customer, to buy the leads, let's say, and then all of the work that it takes to convert them into a sale, and then all of the work you have to do to deliver the service. Now, they're paying you for this, but they are paying you a lot of money, especially now. I mean, like the 1 day bath thing. I was just thinking about this because I was having a conversation with somebody about it. Before COVID, the average price of a 1 day bath was 10 grand. Today, it's closer to 16. And when somebody is spending that kind of money, and you don't do anything to show up and say, just say thank you to somebody. Thank you. It's, I think it's just a terrible way to do business, especially today. And part of it too is we're competing for so much attention as a company. And you're not competing against your competitor. Forget that. You've already been in the house. You already made the sale. You already installed the windows or the bath or whatever the hell you're installed. What you're competing against is mind share. You're competing against Target, Nordstrom, Ritz-Carlton, Disney, all the other big brands out there, all the other places that they can go put their attention and spend their money. And so when you show up different from everybody else, that gives you a significant advantage in the mind of the consumer. Because if you don't do this, the one thing that we all know, you and me alike, is that they will forget about who you are and all of the solutions you provide. So simply by showing up and saying thank you. Now, you look, if you wanted to go and do this on your own, you're not going to be able to do it as complex and with all the triggers that we do it. But I'll tell you what, just doing something is better than nothing when it comes to customer appreciation. That's my two
Absolutely.
cents, Felipe.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is the most underrated marketing strategy of all time in
It
any
is.
industry.
Oh,
Any
of
industry,
course.
not just home
Absolutely.
improvement. And I'm curious how you think about it too, but like for me, the appreciation part of it is just an amplifier, right?
Yeah,
It's a supercharger for anything you do after with that customer. Emails,
right.
ask for referrals, for reviews, for text, for direct, anything you do, this thing just supercharged every future touch you have.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so powerful.
Well, and when you're going to talk about communicating with customers in a few minutes, how much more likely is it that somebody is going to open one of your emails, respond to a text message, pick up a call from you after they've received a big thank you from you? Thank you for doing business with us. They are much more likely, and that's why our open rates are off the charts, is
Yeah,
because of things like this.
absolutely. Absolutely. And, to your last point there of, it's such it differentiates you from the competition, right? And I
Absolutely.
think to tie it to this age of AI and the proliferation of content right there, like there's so many people are sending so much, creating so much content out there. Like, how do you stick out from the competition? I think
Well,
gifting, appreciation.
well, and a lot of that content's lazy.
Yeah.
This is not lazy, and lazy lasts seconds. This
Yep.
right here, they actually have to go pick it up. They got to bring it inside. They have to open the box. They got to go through what's in. They're spending time with it. They're engaging with you. You just do some, yeah, you could do a bunch of AI stuff and you can send them silly text messages and emails and all that, but that stuff fades real quick, real quick. stuff like this, it stays with them.
Yeah, it's personal, right?
Yeah.
It sticks. So
Right.
let's jump into some of the case studies. I mean, this is a case study of like concrete results, what we see. And I think looking at the power of appreciation through the lens of reviews is a really great way because five-star reviews, in my opinion, is a proxy for how good your organization is for creating raving fans, right? Um, these are the customers that leave you five-star reviews that will then give you referrals down the line. They're going to buy again from you down the line. They're going to speak well about your business. So here, what we're looking at is, there's three columns. What did it look like before gFour, before sending appreciation with this company? What did it look like a year after they joined with us, and then 3 years after? Um, and when you're looking at reviews, there's really two metrics that matter, and then it combines to a third one, right? Like what is the quantity of reviews that you're getting, right? So what percent of customers are leaving a review? And then there is the distribution of the reviews. Of the ones that are leaving reviews, how many are five-star reviews? So that's kind of what these two percentages are looking at, right? So before gFour, before sending appreciation, this customer was getting about 3% of their customers were leaving reviews. They weren't doing a lot in the reviews world after they started sending gifts. Just by sending gifts, it jumped to 28% of customers leaving reviews. And of those customers that left reviews, 82% before, now it was 92. So you went from
Of wait,
getting,
wait.
you go ahead.
82% before left a five-star review.
Yes,
After 92% left a five-star review.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
one of the things when we first started gFour was this component. We knew that we would kick in the law of reciprocity, meaning that, hey, I'm giving you something, and then by nature of me giving you something, now you feel obligated to give me something back. And so we know, and here's proof, data where when you send out appreciation and ask for review, what happens? How many more you get when you combine the two strategies?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is amazing, Felipe.
Which is awesome to see. And so we and then, year one was 26% five-star reviews, and year three, like it starts and then over time you put a process and you implement other things. There's other strategies. You build a culture around driving reviews. We help you guys with that as well. But, I think having a culture there is where you can continue to get that number much higher. For a data point, just so that you all listening, on average, and this is a 300 data points, 300 customers. On average, what we see is people getting about 40% five-star reviews. So, of the number of jobs you're completing, how many of those customers are leaving you a five-star review? It's 40%. So you can do that right now pretty easily. Look at the number of jobs you completed last month, count how many five-star reviews you got last month, and that's the percentage benchmark. 40% is really good. Anywhere between 30 to 40%, I would say is really good for the industry.
Here's another thing that this data shows is you see that 28 to 63% number. So when you start with gFour, we're basically doing all of the work. However, to go from 28 to 63%, we provide trainings on how to make this a part of your culture, how to get everybody on your team on board, how to ask for reviews, and all of that. And so you'll see that as time goes on, that number goes from 28% all the way, well, it goes from less than three, pops up to 28. But look, by year three, it's at 63%. That's not entirely because of us. That's also because the companies are actually listening and they're doing the things, the trainings and the things that they need to do on their end in order to improve these numbers and to get more reviews. And I'd be willing to bet that most all of the uh, people that you're getting this data from is they're dominating reviews in their markets, especially after 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely. It's yeah, that's one of the things we track. I don't have it here, but we'll look at the Google 3 pack and look at how many reviews are you getting versus your competitors. And it's like, it's typically 10x more than what your competitors are getting over the same time frame. So yeah, that's absolutely
So,
right there,
so
Brian.
here's an interesting question, and I'm going to say it because it's right here. Mike is asking, is there a point where you see number of five-star reviews becoming not as important? Obviously, 10 reviews to 200 is a big jump and important, but what about going from 3,000 to 3,500? Is there some sort of review plateau you've seen? The short answer, and I'm no internet marketing expert, the short answer to that is no, there is no plateau. First off, you want this feedback first off, because you want to know. But second off, you want this stuff happening on a regular basis. Google loves fresh content. So if as you're posting more and more fresh content, this being content, Google is looking at you more favorably. If all of a sudden, you get up to 3,000 and then that's it, you're done, you don't do anything else, well, yeah, maybe you have more than everybody else, but you'll probably start to slip in the rankings a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Google cares about the velocity, right? So like how often you're getting review, that's a key metric in their ranking algorithms.
Well, that was something we learned this, I'd say probably 7 years ago, where we noticed that the companies that were getting more and more reviews kept moving up in the 3 pack in the map pack, and also getting better, showing up in more places. And so that was something that we drove, really hard, and we still do. Um,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
yeah,
And I think from a competitive positioning, right? I mean, if you think about the psychology of a consumer, like if your business has 3,000 reviews and that number continues to grow higher and your competitors are, in the low hundreds, the more you can get, the better. And customers also check recency of reviews. You can sort it by recency. So I would definitely always try to keep getting more reviews and try to get that average rating as high as you can. All right. Any other
right.
questions on this one, Brian, or
No,
else?
let's go.
All right, let's go. So, takeaways. Put a system in place to say thank you to all your customers. I promise you it will drive more referrals, more repeat business, more online reviews, and most importantly, it will distinguish you from the competition and position you as the premium contractor in your market, which allows you to charge premium prices. That's a big one there. So, number two, referral marketing. So I'm going to share a little bit about the insights that we have, and then we can kind of go in through some of the strategies and kind of pitfalls of putting a referral program in place. So this is, again, an analysis we did across all our contractors, all our database around when are homeowners leaving referrals or giving referrals. And what we found, so this is the chart on the left, is a distribution of based on times, 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, etc., and then 12 plus. When are people giving you a referral after their job was completed? And what the data shows in our database here with all the contractors we work with is that 82% of customers gave a referral more than 3 months after their job was complete. Um, and that was a big, I think, learning and insight for us, right?
We didn't know this. We didn't
Yeah,
know this years back. We had no idea. I think we knew it kind of anecdotally, but we didn't know it with this data. And what's really interesting, for years, I would tell people, for years, till I was blue in the face, is that if your referral program lasts a day or two, where it's just like, oh, hey, by the way, here's our referral program. And if you know anybody, send us referrals. That ain't gonna work. that your job is to stay in touch and stay in touch, and because it takes time for people to make referrals. You don't know when they're going to make a referral. And so when you plotted this out and you first showed this to us, I was blown away by this. I was actually blown away by the 12 plus months. I didn't realize how crazy high that number was. I thought, maybe around the 6 month mark, maybe about the 9 month mark, but that's crazy. But part of the reason why we're able to do this is because of everything that Felipe is going to show you right now. Because our referral program doesn't last one day, it lasts years. It's constant, constant, constant. It's baked into everything that we do and every communication that goes out to your customer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, the way I kind of think about it is if you do have a referral program that lasts one day, that means 82% of the opportunity is missed. You're
Right.
missing out on 82% of what your referral program and referral business could be
Could be doing.
because your
Hmm.
customers don't remember it, right? It's not their
Yeah.
job to know that you have a referral program. So that was one of the big unlocks that I think is worth, taking away from here. Here's some other data that we got from the referral insights. On the left, we track also like who are the people that you're referring, the homeowners are referring. So, to Brian's point, most of it is family and friends. That is the vast majority. It's, call it 76% of the referrals that people are giving. So, when you are asking for referrals, you can be a little bit more pointed. Do you have any friends or family that you could refer to us? Um, and then on the right side, another I think, very interesting is uh, how many referrals are being submitted by some. So if I submit a referral, how many times am I doing? Am I just submitting one referral? Am I submitting two, four, five, right? Obviously, the nirvana of any referral program is we want to get people to refer as many times as possible. Um, and so this is what the data says. About 44% of people refer more than one time. Almost half of people send more
So
referral.
that 5 plus number is awesome.
Yeah.
And it again, before Felipe came along, we kind of knew this stuff, but we didn't know. He's got actual data um, that shows super referrers, you know, because in any population, in any group of people, you're gonna have these super referrers. But if you don't work to get them to make referrals and remind them of who you are and on and on and on, um, this is lost opportunity.
Yeah,
Okay, by the
absolutely.
way, look at this question. So Shannon is asking, what has been the best referral program that you have seen? Well, we're going to show it to you right now,
Yeah,
Shannon.
yeah,
Here's
we'll
the
show
best
it.
referral program in the home improvement industry right now.
Yeah. So I'll show that in a second here. And we'll get to that. And one other thing here, Brian, I'm curious to get your take, but one other big pitfall we see. So there's the 1 day referral program, right? That's a big pitfall. The other one is you don't track and you don't pay out the referrals, right? It's you don't keep your word. You put a referral program in and then you don't do it. So you imagine I'm a homeowner, I send you a referral. I never get the check or whatever you promised me, I'm not going to send you a second referral or a third or a fifth. So, big takeaway from this is you want to get half of the people that will continue to do it, put a system in place that you can track and then you can pay out your referrals as soon as possible so that they can become those super referrers. That's kind of another big insight there. All right. Um, Quickly, this is one we just we started experimenting. We launched this last month when we had our product release webinar, but we're seeing some early success with automated referral text campaigns. Um, so this is what the data has shown so far. 90, obviously, text has really high open rates. So we're seeing 98% open rates and 48% click-through rates on those text messages. So people are engaging and clicking on it. Now, obviously, with text messages, I think the thing you have to be, you know, careful with is opt-outs and not, over texting people. So if you are going to implement something like this in terms of texting your customers and asking them for referrals, I would caution you to be more be careful in terms of the cadence and how often you're asking referrals and how you're doing it, so that your opt-out rates aren't skyrocketing. All right, so now to answer Shannon's question about, the best referral programs.
Oh, we're not showing, you're not showing our referral program here. But
Oh no, yeah,
basically, Shannon, G4 Marketing has a full-blown referral program, and get with one of our guys, and they'll be happy to show you all of the parts and pieces that are involved in the referral program. There's a lot to it.
yeah. The three kind of uh, things we recommend when you're trying to put a referral program or take an existing referral program and make it productive is rule number one, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it, right? Don't make it different payouts and different amounts if they purchase. Make it something that's simple for you to track. If you have a CFO, that person won't kill you for trying to figure out how to calculate the payouts. And if you're doing it yourself, it's easy for you to do it. Number two, put a nurture program in place to keep reminding your customers around your referral program. We talked about this, right? So 82% of referrals come after 3 months of the job being completed. So do something to remind them about that referral program that you have in place. And then three, have a system to track and pay those referrals so that you can get that super refer effect. That's kind of the three main takeaways there for having an effective referral program. All right, if there's no other questions, we can keep pushing through to past customers. So this one is a fun one too, and I think yeah, very effective. This is we're going to talk about two strategies here that you can use to nurture and leverage past customers, right? So um, this is part one of the strategy. I'm not into gardening, but if I was to use a gardening analogy, this is the part where you're watering the leads, right? The plants. So this is a database reactivation campaign. And when we talk about database reactivation campaigns, what we're talking about is taking your past customers. So imagine, look at the past 3 to 5 years of past customers that you have in your CRM. Take those customers and throw them into different campaigns. Now we have what we do on our database reactivation campaign, and you can do some of this or all of it, but is we put a long-term sequence that's, multiple emails over time so that we're consistently staying in touch and staying top of mind with those past customers. We're keeping them informed of what's going on with your business, what other services you offer, what past customer offers you have out there. We put them into a monthly email newsletter campaign that is also meant to be engaging. It's supposed to be have fun content, right? You're not asking for anything. This is not when you're just nurturing the relationship. And we also put them into a special sequence that's talking about your referral program, right? So we have referral contests that we do quarterly, things like that. But it is that's what we do from a database reactivation campaign. And when we do that, this is the results we typically see. So uh, we see on the top right here about 2 to 10% conversion over the over the 12 months after we put those people into a campaign. So I'll give you a specific case study or specific numbers of what we're talking about here on the top left. So this is a roofing company doing about $6 million in revenue. We took 2,700 customers, their past customers, and threw it into these digital campaigns, right? Digital nurture campaigns. And over 3 months, what they saw was that about of the 2,700, 94 customers came back and bought again from them um, at a conversion rate. So that's a conversion rate about 3.5% in just 3 months, right? These campaigns can keep going forever. And our email open rates had about 42% on them. Now this is fully digital, right? There's no print, there's nothing. This is just literally taking the data, the gold mine that's sitting in your CRM and activating them, putting them into digital campaigns that will definitely drive results for you. And this is part two, right? So you've watered the plants, and this is what the extraction part, right? Now this is the strategy I think drives a lot of value. So this is using a strong CTA with a strong past customer offer and really driving a coordinated attack that leads with direct mail and is followed up with digital campaigns um, to drive results, right? So to drive, to really extract leads from it. And what we see and what we know is that when you pair direct mail with digital campaigns, you see a 28% higher conversion rate and a response rate that's 450% higher. Um, so this is kind of how we do it, right? We use direct mail, email, and we plunge into these customers that we've been nurturing. And this is some of the results. I'll show you kind of some of the results on the bottom right of what we see. So um, this is data based on 69 campaigns that we ran for different customers over the last year. And on average, these campaigns had about $40,000 and drove about $40,000 in revenue and cost about $2,600 per campaign. So it had an average cost of marketing of about 7%. And the highest one we saw, or the highest cost of marketing or worst performing campaign we saw that we ran out of those 69 was 33%. The best one was less than 1%. So very, very effective campaign here in running these. Any comments, thoughts? Curious your reaction on this strategy, Brian.
No, this is incredible. And of course, when you combine it with the digital, the boost is pretty amazing. And then also when you combine also with an outbound phone call, that number will go even higher up.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, you know,
And
some things that
7% cost of marketing on this is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the limitations of this, right, obviously is that, if we have customers, you can't spend 50,000 per campaign, right? Because to get 500,000, if you only have 2,000 people in your database, right? So it's limited by your past customer database. But on the flip side, we see customers doing it multiple times per year and it hits every time. So I think it's a great strategy that you can use multiple times throughout the year and consistently to come in and pluck from that past customer database.
Yeah.
Couple of other data points there that, interesting from the data. Of the 69 campaigns we ran, I think only 7 of them had a cost of marketing that was above 10%. So if you think about, rolling the dice 70 times, only 7 times did you go, bust and didn't hit. So, pretty strong numbers in this.
Well,
Uh,
this kind of thing works even this thing even works at a 20% marketing cost because you could make the argument that you're going to close at a much higher rate.
yeah,
You're going
that's
to
true.
close at a higher rate. And so, yeah, the cost might be a little bit high, but it's also not, it's not a huge, it's not like I was talking with somebody yesterday who was about to roll the dice and spend 30 grand on TV ads. And we're like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. hold on here, big boy. These campaigns are 2,500 bucks, on average.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're rolling the dice with a huge amount of money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. These are targeted campaigns to your
Yeah.
best customers, and
Well, and there's a
hey,
lot that goes into it too. There's a
yeah,
timing aspect that goes into it, and
yes,
and
yeah,
copy and messaging and
yeah,
design and all of that as well.
yeah, yeah. And to go back to point number one, right, Brian? It's like this is the two-part strategy of you nurture, then you extract with these direct
Right.
mail campaigns, but we're building on the appreciation that you did, and the appreciation is building on the contractor you delivering on an amazing customer experience, the project being done right. Like none of this works if you don't do the project right, and then you don't say thank you, and then so on. So it's kind of it's a layer cake. It all layers on top of each other.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're tracking well on time, but so let's jump to rehash, the fourth and final campaign here. So we got a little example that we can talk through. So in this example, we're talking about let's say you have 100 leads per month, you're spending $500 per lead. The total spend is about $50,000 in for those leads. And on the path to the right, let's say you're closing at 50%. So those 100 leads, you closed 50 of them at an average ticket of 15. That's $750,000 in revenue. So call it an SLI of 7,500. And that leaves you 50 leads that didn't close, didn't convert, right? So most of those leads typically send in your CRM untouched. Maybe your sales reps are working them a little bit. What we recommend doing, and we see really good results, is put them into a rehash campaign, a systematic rehash campaign that you have a process. And let's leverage direct mail, let's leverage email, monthly newsletters, and we'll talk about like a playbook that you can use in the next page. But what our data shows is that when you do that, you put them into this type of campaign, um, you will see a 7% conversion on those customers. So if the 50 you throw in, 7% of them are going to convert and then come back and actually
You
buy from
could
you.
hold on. You could see.
Could see.
Let's not promise. Let's not
Yes.
promise.
Yes. We're not promising
If
anything.
they
You're right.
hated your salesperson, they hated your company, and they
Yeah.
don't ever want to see you again, obviously you're not going to be at 7%, but most of you aren't like that.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there.
Fair.
Yeah.
True. So you could see that, and so what that means is, if any increase, so this assuming you increase your conversion by 7%, that's four additional jobs at a 15,000 average ticket. That's 60,000 in incremental revenue. Increase your NSLI by 8% and your close rate from 50 to 54%. So this
And
is
by the
kind of
way, rehash
painting the
doesn't even
picture.
cost very much to do.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
It's
talk about.
shocking. It is absolutely shocking to me how few companies are actually doing rehash out there. It's
Yeah.
shocking, you know,
And doing it well. Yeah.
and doing it well. Yeah.
So this is the playbook we put in place. You guys can, take parts of it, take none of it, but on the right side, you can see kind of what it looks like from a touch points perspective, right? So it combines both direct mail and email. Um, and then this is the timing, right? So you're sending an email, 7 days later, you're in the inbox, mailbox with a thank you card and a handwritten letter that's coming from the owner. You're following up with more emails. Then you do a final direct mail piece to nudge them, and then more emails, right? Um, that's the system we follow. This is what it, looks like.
And,
These are
and
some
by the
templates.
way, yeah, this is what it looks like. But here, what I'll say here too is if you want to bump this up another 50-ish%, you add a phone call in here. And there's a way to do that. There's scripting for that, but it's basically after the next day, you're going to take the lead back because that's a whole nother thing. You have to have, claim ownership of that lead, and you just do an outbound call and you just ask a few questions. Did our guy show up on time? How did he do? Did he present the thing right? And that, and just adding that component to it should give you a 30, 40, 50% boost on this result. This is a no, you don't touch it type of rehash. It happens in the background without you having to do anything. But if you wanted to add that piece into it, it will improve performance.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's something you guys can leverage as a starting template. This is an email that we use that you can, take here when we share the slides and you can copy it. And here's the case study, right? So this is a client that has been on it for a little bit of a year, a little bit over a year. They added 900 or 898 rehash leads at a cost of 625 per rehash lead for those direct mails and emails and all that we talked about. So they invested about $5,600 into that. And to date, it has converted 99 customers, rehash customers. So at an average ticket of 10K, that's about $1 million in revenue, more or less. So the cost of marketing on this, is less than 1% for this
Now,
specific client.
Felipe, obviously, this is an amazing
Yeah.
example. And I don't know what the average is, but if you just look at this and you say, okay, they had a 0.6% cost of marketing. They got 99 customer conversions, which sounds about right on that.
Mhm.
It's about right. But let's say it wasn't. Let's say that they only got 20, 20 at an average ticket of 10. It's an additional $200,000 of revenue at a $5,600 cost. I mean, anybody that's just not doing this is leaving so much money on the table. It's not even funny.
Yeah. I mean, you really have to. I mean, we could play a sensitivity here. You really have to turn down the numbers way down for this not to make sense, right? From a
Correct.
rehash perspective.
Yeah, we should charge
So
more for this. We should raise the price.
yeah. Who knows? But one interesting, Brian, I'm curious to get your take on this, but this is one of the interesting things from looking at the data that I was surprised with, and this is for this specific customer, but I think it stands true for most of our customers, is that the average nurture time in the rehash program, so from when we put them into the program to when they converted, was 3.5 months,
Yeah.
um, which was much longer than I expected. And I think if we talk about pitfalls of most rehash programs, right? I think most of the time when I talk to people like, hey, what rehash program do you have? They say, my sales rep is responsible for doing the rehash. And we all know that, maybe they follow up
By
for
the
you.
way, that's a surefire way of never getting rich.
Yeah, exactly. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's uh, it's an interesting thing because it's like, if you don't have a long tail rehash program
Yeah.
that's touching that homeowner 3.5 months in, 6 months in, 9 months in, you're leaving money on the table because your freaking sales rep isn't following up 6 months later or something like that on a
Well, and
consistent
even if
basis
it
when
goes
they're
to your
getting new
calls,
leads every week.
yeah, even if it goes to the call center and they make one or two outbound calls, okay, great. You're going to pick some up from that. But are you going to get these kinds of results? Probably not. And this is where people, inconsistency comes in, lack of training comes in, lack of ownership of the lead comes in. And people say, well, I tried rehash and it didn't work. Well, did you do a system? Did you have a system for
Yeah.
it? Or did you just throw stuff against the wall and hope it works?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think the reality is it's not an or, it's an and, right? You
Yeah,
need an and system of like,
that's
I
right.
am doing all of this and I have the foundational elements
Yeah.
of email, direct mail, calls,
Mhm.
to make it really successful. Um, And that is, kind of the four strategies that we, talked about. So to recap, customer appreciation, referral marketing, past customer campaigns, and rehashing unsold leads. And so maybe to you know wrap it all up and land the ship here. Um, I kind of want to go through a little strategy or a little exercise of you know who can pay more for the lead. And Brian, maybe I'll be contractor A and you can be contractor B,
Okay.
and we're let's assume that for this exercise, we're the only two
Wait, you're
roofers in
going to be the
Miami.
rich one and I'm going to be the poor one?
You're getting to the end.
Yeah.
Uh, right? We have the same cost structure. We both just started our business, and we're both buying, Google leads, PPC leads, right? And I'm going to go through the process. Let's say now I decided that I want to go through the process of putting all these systems in place, right? Of saying thank you, of nurturing past customers, of generating referrals, of having a long-term rehash program, right? Uh, what
A
happens is
long-term
that
customer keep in touch program.
program,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. For me, I think what happens now is that like for every new custom, every 10 new customers that we bring in, I know that I'm going to get three extra sales, right? In the future at some point at a significantly lower cost
Right.
than those new customers that I'm buying. So, I think over time we realize that, I'm paying for the customer, you're paying for the transaction, we're
Yeah.
playing different games, but we're still competing, right? We're paying in a competitive marketplace for the same leads.
Yeah. So
Um,
again, I'm the poor one, you're the rich one. Hey,
exactly.
somebody had a question. Robert had a question. What's the turnaround time for campaigns?
Uh, that's a good I
So
mean,
like
it depends.
rehashes,
Yeah.
what, like within how many days?
Quick. I mean, we could probably, like if for us setting up a rehash campaigns,
Yeah, if we
probably
have
within a week.
for our clients, how
Yep.
quick is turnaround?
A week to a week and a half. I mean, it's really we have the templates, all of that. So it's just customizing it to your brand and then getting
So
it approved.
no, 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 no. That's not the question. The question is if I
Okay.
want to send out a rehash campaign to my customer, to my prospect,
Yeah.
I ran the lead today. I send
Uh-huh.
you the name tomorrow.
Ah.
When how quickly is that campaign starting?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. That's on a weekly basis. So we can do it more often, but
Yeah,
it's
but
we
how
can
quick? It's essentially the answer is it happens almost immediately.
yeah,
Once you
yeah.
give us the information, that the campaign launches. And then as far as the holiday mailers go, and by the way, when we say holiday, we made up some holidays too, or we use some obscure holidays too. But holiday campaigns take about how long to execute on?
Same thing. So we have the templates. It's just an approval. As soon as we get the list, we can execute them. So we have specific, holiday mailers that we want, we'll send. So typically we're working within, 2-week time frame to kind of clean up the list, make sure everyone feels good about it, approve the content for the holiday mailers.
Okay. Chris is asking, can you go to how they get a hold of if they're interested in learning more about G4 marketing, where they go while I answer this question? Um,
Yeah, well, we can. So, if you're interested in learning more about gFour, we're gonna launch a poll here at the end. We'll collect your information and then
why don't you go ahead
we'll.
and oh, did you want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit more?
No, no. I mean, that's all we
I
have. I
think this is
mean,
good. Yeah, I think we're great. So
yeah.
that's part of the whole system there. We can show you all this, the ROI stuff and all of that. Felipe's got all those numbers and proof. I want to make sure that we answer questions and I want to make sure you run your poll. So perfect. Chris asked, what is the optimum time to reach back out to rehash a customer? We currently are sending it to rehash after 3 days of the initial appointment if it didn't first call close. Chris, that's probably too long. I would say next day is when you really want to start because you don't know.
I agree.
I mean, you don't know. Maybe they have another appointment with somebody else, and you don't want to miss out. So you want to be quick about this. And if it's 3 days, are you waiting for the sales rep to give it back to you? Because if you are, then you're missing out. The house owns the lead. The house owns the lead. And so if they don't sell it, they get one shot to sell it. If they don't sell it, it comes back to the house. And then the house goes and works that lead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I'd say, we're happy to, I mean, we do this talk, our sales team talks about this. It's more of a consultation, but we're happy to talk to you guys about what we see work, what doesn't work, about all
absolutely.
of these, all the time.
Yeah. All right, guys, we've got the poll up. About, I think half of you have responded. Just give us a quick yes or no on this, and then we will do one final little pitch for Accelerate Live and answer any more questions. I don't see any other questions.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
All right. Means it's
Almost there. Come on, people. Just yes or no. Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes, yes. I'm doing mind Jedi mind tricks. Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes,
Click.
yes, yes. All right, let's close down the
All right.
poll.
Good.
And last thing we've got here is again gFour. Robert, that's great. Grow or die. See you at Accelerate Live. Love it. Yeah, so there's a QR code there. There's a coupon code there, G426. That'll save you an additional $100. Early bird pricing ends, I believe, next week. We're already at, I think I don't know, I think we're already at like 70% of the room is taken. The seats are taken. And we've got a huge lineup, great event, and if your competitors are there and you're not, uh, they're going to have an advantage over you. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Felipe. Well, let's see. I don't see any questions.
No more
Really?
questions?
We got a lot of you still here. Nobody's got any questions? Okay, Felipe. Good job.
Appreciate it.
Nice, nice work on this.
All right, guys. We'll have a good one. And if you have any
Could I
questions, you know
get
how to
help
reach
or
us.
could I get help or recommendations on a base structure on growing my remodeling business? Email. Okay. Sure. One, go to Accelerate Live. And two, if you're interested, we'll send you an email about the Wealthy Contractor Success Society.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Look at that. We finished 1 minute early, Felipe.
Wow. That
That's
is
that's big for me. And obviously I wasn't running it, so that's probably why it
yeah.
happened. Usually I talk way too much and I
Yeah.
go
I
way over.
We did no dry runs, so I had no idea if this was going to be 30 minutes or an hour and a half,
How
but
talkative I would be. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I love this topic. I love this topic and I love this business. And I'm so happy I'm with in it with you and with the rest of the team. Um and yeah, it's cool. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And hopefully, I will see all of you at Accelerate Live in February. Thanks, Felipe. Talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
all.